Ladies, let me tell you something lawyers are whispering behind closed doors, but rarely say out loud. Keeping your will a secret from your children might just be the wisest decision you ever make. Yes, I know. It sounds harsh, but there are 8 very real reasons, based on what lawyers see every day, that you need to hear, especially if you're over 65. Stick with me until the end because reason number 7 will absolutely shock you. And reason number 8 is the one too many women learn too late. While you're here, please like this video, subscribe, and comment below. Would you ever keep your will a secret from your children? Let's see how many brave women out there are willing to tell the truth. 1. They might start counting your money instead of loving you. Let me tell you about my friend Denise. She's 74, smart as a whip, and a retired nurse. A few years back, she sat her children down and revealed everything in her will, how much she had in her accounts, what the house was worth, who would get what. At the time, she thought she was doing the right thing, being transparent, avoiding surprises. But something changed. Her daughter, who used to call every week just to chat, started slipping in comments like, "You're lucky you don't have a mortgage, Mom," or "That backyard would make a great granny flat for us one day." Denise told me, "They still love me, but now it feels like they're waiting. Like I'm a savings account with a heartbeat." And lawyers see this all the time. When children learn about their inheritance too soon, it becomes impossible for them to separate your presence from your purse. It doesn't make them bad people, it makes them human. But it's not the kind of love you want in your later years. You deserve to be valued for your soul, not your signature. 2. Sibling rivalries can explode into wars. If you've got more than one child, you already know fair doesn't always mean equal. And heaven help the mother who dares to divide her estate in a way that one child perceives as unfair. I know a woman named Judy. She had 2 daughters. One lived down the street and checked in weekly. The other lived interstate and barely called. Judy's will gave a bit more to the daughter, who had been there for her, and she made the mistake of telling them both. What happened next? They didn't speak for 3 years. The distant daughter accused her sister of manipulation, favoritism, even elder abuse. She called Judy crying, then screaming. And when Judy passed, there was no reconciliation. Lawyers say this scenario is heartbreakingly common. Once children know what's coming, their imaginations take over. Everything becomes a competition. Even the love you gave them as children can come into question. Keeping your will private isn't secrecy, it's protection. Not just for you, but for the fragile web of relationships you spent a lifetime weaving. 3. Plans change, and you deserve the right to change yours. Let me ask you this. Are you the same person you were 10 years ago? Of course not. And neither are your children. Life is fluid. Circumstances shift. One child may fall on hard times. Another might become wildly successful. Someone you trust today might betray you tomorrow. You might even decide to leave a portion of your estate to a charity, a close friend, or even your local church. But once you've told your children what's in the will, changing it feels like a betrayal. They may push back, guilt-trip you, or accuse you of being manipulated. I had a friend whose daughter married a man she didn't trust. After seeing his behavior, she wanted to remove her daughter from the will entirely, but she couldn't bring herself to do it because the daughter already knew what she was supposed to get. Lawyers say one of the greatest freedoms a senior woman can have is the ability to change her mind without consequences. Keeping your will private preserves that freedom. 4. Financial pressure and guilt trips are real. You'd be surprised how quickly, I'm just being honest, turns into "you owe me." I had a conversation once with a widow who confided that after telling her son what he would inherit, he began hinting at getting it early. Why wait, Mum? You don't need that much anymore. It started small, asking for help with rent, then a car payment, then help for his business. She wanted to say no, but he used the will like a bargaining chip. It's going to be mine anyway, right? And here's the thing, when they know what's coming, some children stop seeing it as a gift and start seeing it as their money. And if you don't hand it over now, they act as if you're hoarding what's rightfully theirs. It's manipulation dressed up as love. Lawyers have a name for this: pre-inheritance syndrome. It's when adult children treat your assets like an early payday. But if you never reveal the details, you keep the power. You maintain your dignity, and you won't find yourself cornered by guilt in your own living room. 5. It's not about trust, it's about boundaries. This is the one that trips up so many women. They say, if I don't tell them what's in the will, won't they think I don't trust them? But here's what I've learned in my years. Trust and boundaries are not the same thing. I trust my children to love me. I trust them to do their best in life. But when it comes to my will, my final wishes, my personal decisions, I also trust myself. You're allowed to hold space for your own privacy without guilt. Think of it this way. Do you tell your children how much you spend on groceries each week? Do you report every dollar in your bank account? Probably not. Not because you're hiding something, but because it's your life, your finances, your choices. Lawyers say the women who draw clear boundaries early on experience far less stress later. They feel more in control, more respected, and less manipulated. You don't need to share every detail just because someone asks. In fact, sometimes saying less is the most loving thing you can do for them and for yourself. 6. You might be protecting one child from the others. This one is so often overlooked, but it's powerful. What if one of your children is going through a hard time? Maybe they have a disability. Maybe they're in a toxic marriage. Maybe they've battled addiction or mental illness. Or maybe they've just always needed more emotional support. If you leave that child a little more in your will, you're not playing favorites. You're being a mother. But if your other children know about that decision, how do you think they'll react? Even the kindest hearts can feel slighted. And not every sibling is capable of compassion when money is on the line. I've heard of families where the stronger siblings turned against the weaker one, saying things like, "You always needed more. You're mom's favorite. You manipulated her." One woman told me her daughter was bullied by her brothers for years, all because she quietly received more in the will to support her after a rough divorce. And she never knew until it was too late. Keeping your will private gives you the ability to do what's right for each child without putting any of them in harm's way. It's not secrecy, it's protection. 7. Adult children can become controlling once they know. Now, this one hit me hard when a lawyer first told me. He said, the moment adult children know what's in the will, many of them start managing their parents' life like it's an investment portfolio. They begin weighing your spending, questioning your choices, second-guessing your generosity. I wouldn't donate to that charity if I were you. Mom, do you really need a new recliner at your age? Maybe hold off on that trip. You might need that money later. And they dress it up as concern, but what they're really doing is protecting their future inheritance. Let me be blunt. If your child knows how much they're getting, they may start treating you like a fragile vault. And suddenly, your golden years don't feel so golden. They feel like you're living under supervision. Keeping the details to yourself ensures you remain the decision maker in your own life. You deserve autonomy until your very last breath. 8. Peace in your final years is worth more than any inheritance. You didn't raise your children to fight. You didn't build your nest egg so they could pull feathers out of it while you're still alive. You did it all for love, for legacy, for peace. And now that you're older, you deserve that peace more than ever. Lawyers say the happiest senior women they work with are the ones who keep their plans quiet, private, and flexible. They live with fewer phone calls that start with, "I just need," and more that start with, "How are you, Mom?" They aren't burdened with guilt or resentment or sticky family tension. They live each day knowing their wishes are safe, their dignity intact, and their final gifts given on their terms, not anyone else's timeline. So if you're ever torn about whether to share your will, remember this. Your children can wait, but your peace, that starts now.